I'm Connor Northrup, and I'm joined by UFC featherweight Julio Arce. How you doing during these times, Julio?
Doing really good, man. Just glad. I'm healthy. I'm safe right now. So is my family. So everything is good.
Yeah, and now I know you're a sensei at Tiger Schulman's in Bayside. How have you guys kind of been operating that?
Right now, we just had to kind of adapt, and we go on Twitch, and we try to hold our classes from there, and we just set a schedule for students to follow, so that at least they're still getting their training in. It's hard because we went from a lot of gyms went from okay, we're teaching class, and all of a sudden boom, doors
Yeah.
closed. So we taken it to just the other platforms that there are, like Facebook Live, Instagram Live, Twitch, whatever, Zoom media, just to try at least keep our students going and just keep them training, because it's hard. It's so people are locked up and they haven't left, so you know gives them a little normalcy.
Yeah. What's been like the feedback from the students?
It's been pretty good because we set a schedule and we have time, so it's not just the students get an opportunity, just to train with me. They have an opportunity to train with also all of the other instructors from our Tiger Schulman's organization. So it's a great opportunity for them to learn from other very experienced people, and at the same time, it shows that we're not just sitting back and being like, okay, guys, hopefully we're still here when this thing passes. It's like look, we're doing whatever we can to make sure that our students stay training hard.
Yeah. Do you have to, as like a coach, like a mentor? I mean, do you have to change the style of your coaching when you're doing it through like a device like Twitch or something like that?
Yeah, it's a little weird because like I'm doing everything. It's like at the same time I'm getting my training in, but it's since you're talking to like right now me and you are talking, so I can see you, but through Twitch you can't see who's on the other side or what they're doing.
Mhm.
So it's hard to do that, but you have to do it like you're teaching in front of 30 people, because then it's like they might get fired up through it. And of course, you'll see the comments of people, knowing that they had a good class and everything, but it it's a little adjustment there because you're just talking to a screen, not knowing what who's watching on the other side, or if they're following along. So it's like we're looking at different platforms, so then there could be more interaction with the students, so then we can actually see what they're throwing. So like Zoom would be a perfect example.
Mhm.
So then you can be like, okay, keep the hand up over there, turn your hand over a little bit, whatever it is, and just get a little more interaction. But we're doing what we can.
Yeah. And for your training too, I mean, how much have you been able to do?
Just a lot of body movements, a lot of shadow boxing, and just doing what I can. Hitting my workouts here. I have my strength and conditioning coach. They send me workouts to do, and I just have an application. And then I got bands and I got a couple of weights here, but I'm doing what I can to make sure my body stays active, rather than just sit down and just get lazy and just teach. It's like, no, I'm getting my workouts in. I have to.
Yeah. And now there's a lot of talk about, the upcoming UFC card and if it's going to happen too. And I just wanted to get like, your take on it. I mean, if you were able to, I mean, would you fight during a time like this or?
You know what? At this point, it's like it's a lot of ups and downs. In this particular moment, I wouldn't fight, because the thing is, I don't want to risk exposing myself or exposing people that I live with to this. Especially because at first, to be honest, I was very like skeptical about what this whole thing was, and I was like, it's not a big deal. But then and I was more worried about people's reaction to this. But then, like as you start to, we start to kind of go into it. It's like I'm like, this is pretty serious,
Yeah.
and people need to be staying inside. They can't take this lightly. And even when we feel like everything's okay, we can't just be like, okay, it's done, and then we go, because then that's where you kind of let your guard down, and
Right.
then you get hit by something. So, it's not worth the risk. It's not worth, me getting sick or me passing it to somebody else, because this whole thing is literally like, it's like a one big mind fuck, because you could not have it, you could actually have it and not have any symptoms, and
Mhm.
then you just pass it to somebody else, or you can get really sick and then pass it to somebody else. And I'm like, I'm not taking those chances, and you know I'd rather wait it out.
Yeah. And now, I definitely want to talk about other stuff than coronavirus. I feel like
Yeah.
that's all we want to talk about now. But Just like, looking at your last couple of fights too, I mean, I know you've kind of been, starting up, opening the cards up too. I mean, how much does, your spot on the cards kind of matter to you?
I think it depends. I think when it comes to opening up the cards, it's not bad. Look, I'm fighting. I just want to fight, and eventually,
Mhm.
I'll get a higher time. Further in the card, wherever they're gonna place me. I just want to fight. But the thing is also, like depending on the cards that you fight on, it's what people are gonna see. I
Mhm.
feel like in one of my fights, I finished with a head kick knockout, and it's like
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, do I get a bonus? And it's like, oh, but I don't think anybody really saw it. So you're like, fuck, man. But
Yeah.
then and then there's less chance of you being able to get noticed for like a fight bonus or anything. So
Mhm.
like sometimes placement on the card matters, but also it depends on what kind of fight card you're fighting under. So if it's like let's say it's like a Conor McGregor card, they the people in the higher levels, who are up higher, they get looked at more than the people at the lower. It's like we have to work our way up. So at
Yeah.
least in the fight nights, it's like you have a little bit of a higher chance. But whatever, I'm just glad I get to fight. I love doing this, and like it's eventually like, look, my time will come. There'll be a point where I'll eventually I'll win my own fight night bonus. So it's just a matter of just putting great fights and just getting in there, and I just want to focus on climbing to the top.
Yeah, just being patient. Yeah, that makes sense. And you said something interesting too. You brought up that head kick knockout too, and it kind of made me think about your last fight too against Dawoodu. I mean, maybe you didn't get the win necessarily, but I mean, it was a very entertaining fight. I mean, a good quality fight for you, I thought. So do you feel like even though it was a loss, I mean, do you feel like you kind of maybe deserved like a step up just based on that performance?
Yeah, look, we're in a kind of in like an era where people want to see just straight knockouts or just quick submissions, quick finishes, and when it goes the distance, it's like people get impatient about it. But it's like, look, at the end of the day, it's two people in that cage, and we gotta win our fight how we need to win it. And look, not every fight is gonna be spectacular. Every person's had their share of boring fights or like fights that it's like just stylistically you feel like it's gonna be really good, but
Hmm.
then it's like it kind of fizzles. It's kind of like when Derek Lewis fought Francis Ngannou, and you're like, what's going on here? They've thrown
Yeah.
like two punches during the whole fight. So look, it was just one of those fights where it's like we're kind of trying to figure each other out, and then we fought, but then it's like even none of us, either one of us, was felt like it was satisfied by it. It was like I mean, even he was like he was shaking his head like, what the hell was this? But whatever. It's like you learn from every fight, whether you win, whether you lose. Like now it's just moving forward. Like I feel like I've been my two fights have been very close, so it could have gone either way. So, but what can you do, man? The judges see one thing, and who knows with them.
Yeah. And as far as like, you also brought up climbing up the rankings too. I mean, a loss like that, I mean, do you feel like that actually like set you back that much?
Not really. It's like it's kind of bumped me down. Like I wouldn't say a lot, but
Hmm.
whatever. It's like both. Like look, both my losses have been split decision, so it's
Yeah.
not like like I got like destroyed. Look, one fight just got really bloody. That was it, and the other one it was just kind of just back and forth. So it's really close fight. So I wouldn't say it hurt me that much.
Yeah. And you brought up some too, the two split decision losses. I mean, to have losses that are so close. I mean, how close do you feel like you are as a fighter to maybe just jumping that gap and going that one step up?
Um, you know what? I feel like like after this, I feel like once I get back into it's back into like getting a fight scheduled and doing this. Like I feel like it's gonna really fill that gap because ever since I fought in November, I've actually taken some time off to really just kind of work on certain things in my game and not just skill wise. I think mental wise. I actually had like a sports psychologist and to talk to because like I want to try to like maybe unlock something that maybe I'm not realizing I'm doing while I'm fighting. And everything helps. Everything helps. Whether it's, hitting a little more strength and conditioning, training more skill, doing, certain other things better, speaking to a sports psychologist. I'm doing whatever I can to make myself a better fighter. So then when I go in there, I can perform to the best that I can and leave there being like, I left it all in there. Not like, okay, I did enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you brought up before too that, right now, obviously, you can't really fight and you wouldn't want to, but as far as like just having that like urge of fighting, I mean, how much do you want to fight right now?
Dude, I wish I can just, I wish I can go in there right
Yeah.
now, but it's like, I took some time off to just be able to like kind of, it was kind of like a blessing in disguise a bit for being able to take this time off, because it's like, then I can really detail the other parts of my game that need improvement that I thought, I had, like a grasp on it, but maybe I can do better at it.
Yeah. Are there any certain areas specifically that you can kind of like tell us about?
I think it was just more of a, I think it was more the mental aspect. When I was going into those fights, like I felt like I was ready, but then it's like part of me, I don't know why I ended up fighting their fight instead of my fight. Maybe I just wanted to make it, spectacular. Maybe I was focused more on trying to make it for like, the fans, which, I love and all, but, like I'm going in there pretty much putting my body on the line. So I think it's being able to change that. It's like, no, it's like you're here to fight your fight and you're here to win your fight at whatever means necessary. Whether it's you take by decision, you knock the person out, or you submit them. Doesn't matter. Go in there and fight your fight, not their fight. Don't get drawn into what they do. So, and just being able to just be like, okay, look, I'm better on the ground than you. I'm going to take you down to the ground and submit you. I'm going to better strike you. I'm going to keep you on the feet. Because in those two fights, I dragged myself, like, I would say it's like I let myself get put, or I fought their fight instead of using the other tools in my arsenal. So I think, there's something that been really working on and looking to improve on. So then by the time I fight again, be just ready to go. Whole new
Yeah.
level.
And, talking about that too, I mean, do you feel like your fight, I think it was in Rochester with the head kick knockout, do you feel like that kind of is like a perfect example of you kind of fighting your fight too? Because fighting against a taller guy like that as well, it's easy to kind of fall into their game because, they have the range and everything.
Yeah.
I saw an interview that you were kind of talking about that you saw the head kick there the whole time. You're just kind of waiting for him to kind of fall into it.
Yeah, it was just a matter of just seeing and noticing how he was reacting every time I hit him, because in the previous rounds, I hit him with one and he kind of just took it like a champ, and I was like, all right, as you start to go down more during the fight, your body starts to wear down, and then I just threw it there. After my left hand, I went left hand, left head kick. The one he didn't see coming is the one that put him out.
Yeah. And what was that like too? I mean, to have that type of win, in your home state, just what was that experience like?
It was unreal. It's because it's like you hit him, all of a sudden he's down, and the refs just breaking up the fight, and I was like, holy shit, this dude's out.
Yeah.
It's like only like your emotions, like your excitement, everything, just like everything you felt through, even through your whole camp. It's like you're like, yo, you just finished this person. You're just trying to contain it, not to go crazy through the excitement. So it was just unreal. It's like, I watch on video, I'm like, damn. It's like I remember just by watching it. It's like I don't remember. Part of me trying to remember the way it happened, like through my eyes. I'm like, it's like I don't feel like this is real, but damn, it is.
Yeah. And how fortunate do you feel too because I think you fought 4 of your last 4 fights in New York. I mean, what's that been like?
It's been great. Look, I don't mind. It's like I don't mind having to just drive a couple hours. It makes it a lot easier for me, especially like not having to change like time zones and trying to do all this to try do the weight cutting, all that. I'm like, no, it's just, what, I cut my weight, drive down, we're good to go. No extra stress at us.
Yeah, does that remind you of like your Ring of Combat days in any sense, just because it is like kind of not a lot of travel?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's literally like, all right, we're driving 2 hours, we're going to AC, and we're good, we're here. I just do the weight cut, okay, we're good. It's No stress. It's something that takes kind of like a load off your shoulders a little bit.
Yeah.
Especially when you have to fly and you got to be like, okay, we're like 6 hours apart, and now we got to make sure we do it this time and this time. Yeah, it's a bit of a headache, but eventually it's gonna have to be done. So I'm ready for that.
And then I'm out of questions. Anything that you want to add, or anything that maybe you thought we talked about and we didn't touch on?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything. I just hope that everyone out there is just safe. You too, man. Just hope you guys everyone, you, your family, everyone's staying safe, healthy, and it's just like it's just one of these crazy times that it just kind of caught us off guard, and we're just gonna all push through together and just be better at the end of it.
Yeah, and like you were saying too, I mean, there's so much unknown to it too, which I think makes it more scary for like a lot of people as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish you best of health and best of luck in your career as well going forward.
Thank you, man. We'll definitely have an interview again when we get another fight.
Sounds good. All right, Julio. Take care. Have a good one.
Take care. You too. Later.